Alrighty, we're on the road again. It's a bit overcast, but there's blue sky to the other direction. Right? Overcast over here and blue sky over there. So the last few days they have been kind of boring. Besides the engine light thing, I haven't done much. As a matter of fact, in the last few weeks, I haven't done any kind of work on my van. Nothing whatsoever. I've shot a lot of videos. In particular, I've shot a lot of videos, regarding the carnivore diet. I did the 7 days of steak and eggs, and up to this moment, you have only seen 3 of those videos. They're all done already. I mean, they're all filmed, right? Those videos were filmed on consecutive days, right? It's like I didn't just wait 5 days before I do my next steak and eggs. No, it's like I literally did 7 consecutive days. I just didn't get around to any kind of editing. So I have, at this very moment, I have 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 videos to edit. And I hope today I can edit 2 videos and maybe upload 1. I've been trying to upload a video a day over the last few days, which is probably why you have seen some of this random stuff. Like yesterday, me eating just raw ground beef. I don't do that on a regular basis, right? But yeah, it's I was thinking about not just what kind of upload schedule I want, but what can I actually accomplish in a reasonable way. And I feel that a day that I film is gonna be a day that I film only, and a day that I edit is gonna be a day that I edit only. And sometimes my editing gets so late that usually I'm already late for work, that I don't really have the time to also upload, because I usually need Wi-Fi for that. A 30-minute video is about 5 gigabytes, and I can't run that through my phone. I rather use Wi-Fi for that. So technically it's film, edit, upload, 1 day break, film, edit, upload. Right, so I could potentially do 2 videos in a week. But so it's not always as easy. Editing takes me a long time, guys. 3 to 5 hours easy. And I don't know if you have noticed, I have switched for some of my videos to editing on a computer. Right now I actually find the computer to be cumbersome and slow for me. I'm more comfortable and faster editing a video on the fly on my phone than I am on my computer, which is probably why you have seen some of these random videos, because I can literally create them quickly. Quickly is a relative term, right? I can create them quickly on my phone, while on the computer it takes more effort. I've got to get into the back of my van, which is not organized yet. I've got to break out the computer. I've got to put the power bank in the proper space so I can plug the computer in, find a spot to level and solid spot to put the computer down on. And my sitting position is not that great, and the features on the computer are different to access than they are on the phone. it's not as enjoyable yet to do it on a computer. I'll get there eventually, right? But right now it's it's not the most fun to do it on the computer. There are certain things that are easier. You notice every time I add music to my videos, that is usually done on the computer now. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, otherwise I haven't done any projects, and there is technically 3 projects. There's technically 3 projects I need to do ASAP. That I need to do ASAP. 4 actually. It's 5, 6. It's like the longer I think about it, the more projects I'm adding to it. But I've got 3 projects in particular. They all involve my van roof. And those projects I can only get done during nice days, obviously, but not too nice. I don't want it too hot. And because I don't like to be out in public as much, visually in public, I'm slow with getting those done. But I need to do them. I hope maybe I'll get them done this month. Who knows? Definitely need to be done. And that would essentially conclude my entire roof setup. So yeah, that has been top of my priority list actually for the last 3 weeks. So that's been a while. So hopefully, I'll get it done this month, September. It's weird because I'm still technically working on spring, early summer projects when it's getting later in the season. So that means late summer now, right? So there's was another week or something of summer left until September 21st or so. But I'm at this point I should be preparing for winter projects. Things that get me ready for winter, not things that get me ready for summer. That is how slow progressing I am. It's partially frustrating. Partially, I guess it's just the way it goes, right? But yeah, I've got a few more things coming up. But I'm going to the park because I want peace and quiet to do some video editing. I don't like street noise. Here I might have noise from people, but you can't win. It's you always have, you live in a society, so you're gonna have the noises of society, no matter how little I like it. So yeah, where am I gonna go? I think I'm gonna go to my good old faithful spot right here. There's a guy sitting there. It's so weird sometimes. There's a guy sitting there in a launch chair, garden chair, right? Camping chair, whatever you want to call it, next to his car. And I guess sunbathing. And it's like, why can't you sit on one of the benches that are around here? It's like weird. Why don't you sit on the grass? Why do you sit in the parking lot? You can sit in a parking lot anywhere. Go to Walmart. You can sit in the parking lot there. I mean, I guess the ambience and all, right? So that's nice too. But yeah, so I've got to edit. Maybe I should show you what that process looks like. Not the process of editing, but the process of setting up my setup. And today I've got to go to the gym, so I've got that too. I can't stay too long. It's, we always put artificial limitations on ourselves. It's there's only so much time in a day. But you also got to remember, it's like, I don't do YouTube full time, right? I have a day job. I have a day job, or night job rather. And if I spend 8 to 10 hours on my night job, there's only so much time left in the day, which is part of the reason why I only do one of the tasks, right? Filming in one day, editing another day, uploading a third day. Usually each one of those things takes a time slot. It's like filming definitely takes a couple hours, right? Between going to place, setting up, doing whatever you do. Editing takes, 3 to 5 hours or something. And then uploading, actually into the uploading aspect, I include actually creating a thumbnail, which of course is important, and then finding a place where you can upload, then upload at the all the descriptions and tags and stuff to it, and then of course the video's processing, which is one reason why I don't like to do that late in the day. In an ideal case, really ideal, I would upload today a video that is actually published tomorrow, but some people like to take their computer to the library or Starbucks or something, or maybe even sit out here in the park. I'm not a fan of doing things like that. I feel I'm very protective of my equipment. It's expensive and it's hard to replace, and I don't want the less poor behavior I add to my routine, the fewer chances I have to break my equipment. It's like in and out of the bag, going into the store, this, that, whatever. And then, it's like if you need to go to the bathroom, what do? You're going to put everything away and drag it with you to the bathroom? It seems like a hassle to me. A lot of things seem like a hassle to me. But anyway, so I just went to McDonald's. I went to the bathroom, which I needed to do, and I got myself a soda. Right, here it is. Already halfway done with it. Maybe I'll finish that actually before I get into the back for editing. Now I'm at the park again, the state park, and I should turn the engine off. Don't run the engine. Don't run the engine if you don't have to. You're wasting valuable fuel. It's not necessary. And this is kind of like what my day looks like, right? So I got up at like 11. It's 1 now. It's already been 2 hours. What I have accomplished so far: I went to the bathroom, did potty, washed my hands. I got myself a soda, and I went to the park. I watched 2 YouTube videos. Sorry. It's part of my routine, right? It's watching YouTube. Many times watching YouTube is holding me back from doing what I need to do. It's like an addiction, right? The addiction to entertainment. Now, I don't have much of a social life, as you have noticed already, because I never have other people in my videos. Work at night, so obviously anything that happens in nighttime, which is when most people have time, I don't participate in. I also work 7 days a week, so I don't have days off. So I can't do these things on my day off, right? Everything I do is during the day when normal people are at work. So, it seems like a YouTube addiction is kind of a substitute. It's a substitute of a social life. I guess even creating a channel is a little bit of a substitute of a social life. If I can get more subscribers, there will be statistically more people commenting, and if there's more people commenting, then I have a chance of responding, and that is, I guess, part of my social life substitute. So you my viewer, are my social life. I mean, they call it social media for a reason, right? It is kind of sad that it is so limited to a digital form. But between my work schedule and I guess part of my social personality, this is pretty much the only thing I've got. It's the only thing I get. Which is completely contrary to what I normally say, which is, if you want to have a different life, change your life. You want to be somewhere else, go somewhere else. You want to do something different, then do something different. Your life does not change unless you change your life, right? If I want to have people around, then I have to surround myself with people. I have to go to places with people instead of avoiding places with people. So that's kind of like a constant, right? It's like you decide what your life is gonna look like, and your actions will reflect what you want. A very controversial statement that I make is, everybody is exactly where they want to be. Think about that. Wherever you are in your life, that is where you want to be. It's not someone holding you back from something, or something has propelled you forward, where you think you had unjust advantages or something. No, it's like you wanted that, you earned that. Because if you wanted something different, you could do something different. You don't have to live the life that you're living. That means you want the life that you're living. And if you say, no, I don't want this life, so okay, what do you want to change? What aspect of your life do you want to be different? Right? And usually it's not something like in a computer game where you just flip a switch or eat a magic bean. Usually whatever change you desire takes time and work. And then the question is, are you willing to do the work? And are you willing to put in that time? And if the answer is no, then you don't actually want that change. Right? If you truly want something, you value it. And something of high value is something you are willing to work for. But something that has low value, you're not willing to work for. So if that change, like, it's a difference between like our words and our actions. My words are meaningless if my actions don't reflect them. So if I say I value something but my actions don't show that I value it, then I don't actually mean that. You know, I like the idea of, but whatever it takes, I'm not willing to do. And irony is that many times it takes relatively small changes to change something in your life. So many people here in New York complaining, oh, I hate New York, I don't want to be here. And I usually ask them, it's like, so where do you want to be? I was like, oh, I want to be in Florida. It's like, okay, what town? It's like, okay, cool. You get people there, your friends there. I was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, so what's holding you back from going there today? That's when I get people off guard, right? What's holding you back from going there today? Where I get a job? It's like, well, you can get a job down there. So I get family here. It's like, okay. So what do you want? Do you want to be here with your family, or do you want to be there with those other people? Which one is your priority? So you're saying your family is a bigger priority than being in Florida? So, okay, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I can totally see that. But then you have to stop complaining that you don't want to be in New York. I can't say I don't want something when I'm not willing to do anything to get away from it. New York is not going to turn into Florida. Now, you could talk to your people. Maybe they want to move to Florida. Maybe you have done that, and maybe they have said, hell no, it's way too hot, mosquitoes, humidity is like, I don't want to be there. Right? Maybe you have done that, right? Maybe you try to convince your people to change with you, right? Come along for the ride. Great. They said no. Okay. Now you're in limbo. Because now it's a question of, are you going to do this with your people together, or are you going to do this alone? And I got news for you. Every single successful person out there is walking on their path of success alone. You'll never see a horde of people being successful together. Right? Success is something we value very highly. Success is something that is technically very limited. Because the moment something becomes mainstream, it no longer offers the same scale for success, the same opportunities. There's too many people competing for the same thing, which lowers its value. So do you really want to walk the path of imagined success with a horde of people? Do you want to bring your entire family, friends, and community with you? If that is what you try to do, your road to success is going to be severely limited. You're going to have your friends, family, and community are a prisoner steel ball that's hanging around your ankle. And you try, and you might be good, right? You might be good at what you do. And you might be able to take off and be successful. But you try to drag all these people along with you, and they don't have what you have. They don't have what it takes to be successful like you do. That means every single one of them is holding you back. Right? Imagine a plane trying to take off from the runway, and you take 10 planes and you tie them up behind that plane. And the pilot is pulling the power lever, and he's putting all of the thrust of the engines into it, and nothing moves. Because he's got the dead weight of 10 more planes behind him. The moment you cut that cord, with all that thrust you're putting into it, he's going to take off like a rocket. And it's the same thing for us as individuals, with our families, friends, and communities. If you try to drag them all along for the ride, nothing is going to happen for you. You're holding yourself back. Everyone needs to walk the path of success on their own. And usually there's people that you meet along the way who are on that same or similar parallel or crisscrossing path. Those are people that have more value to you, that are more important to you than your family, friends, and community that you're leaving behind. Because they have something to offer to you in value. They can be a sounding board, a feedback loop. They can have, experiences that you haven't had yet. They can give you advice. They can help you out even perhaps sometimes, right? Or you're the one giving advice and helping out, right? Your people back home, wherever that is, are not that. They might talk nice, but they have nothing of value to offer. What does one poor person have to offer to another poor person when it comes to success? Only the knowledge of a person who's poor. But the moment you interact with people who are in the medium range, in the upper range, or in the top range, they have experiences of what it means to be in the medium, upper, and top range. They have something of value to share with you. Right? So you need to break out from your community, most likely. And if you want to move to Florida because you don't want to be in New York, there's something you need to leave behind in New York. If you prioritize the things that you need to leave behind, then you don't really want to be in Florida. Right? It's like, I want it all. Well, the world doesn't work that way. it's a yin and yang, right? In order to get one, you have to give up another. Some parents use a similar method for child rearing. They say, hey, you've got 3 toys. If you want a new toy, you have to give up an old toy. Which one do you want to give up for that new toy? Sometimes the kids don't want to give anything up. Sometimes the kids are willing to throw it all away. Chances are they might regret it later, because they might have given something away for a impulse that they actually want. But you always have to give something away. There's only so much baggage you can carry. So what do you want to bring? Think about it. When you're moving, you need a moving truck for your furniture and your clothing and your belonging and the knickknacks and the kitchen stuff and whatever else you have out there in your house, right? But if you can put everything you own into a backpack, your planning is a whole lot less. Your work involved is a whole lot less. The money involved is a whole lot less. As a matter of fact, you can just take the next Uber to the airport and fly somewhere and don't look back, because everything you own is in your bag. Everything you need is in your bag. While everyone else is accumulating stuff that they are attached to and that they're not willing to let go. And I'm not saying live a minimalist lifestyle, don't root roots, don't own a house, don't have nice things. That is not what I'm saying. There's a place for that. It's a necessity. What I'm saying though is, if you seek growth, then you cannot attach yourself to things that hold you back. And that is both material as well as people. Growth itself means change, right? If you plant a seed, it turns from a seed into a little seedling, into a tiny little plant, and it keeps on growing, it keeps on changing, and it morphs into, depending on what it is, a big magnificent flower, or into a fruit plant or something, or into a big tree. And while you can identify early on what it wants to be, there's no guarantee it's actually going to get there. Without it changing, it needs to continue to change. And that is kind of like the main thing here, right? You need change. And if you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to change your environment, your people, your material things, then you will be attached to things. And those attachments will slow you down from other forms of change. Now, you don't always need to let go of everything. It depends on the growth that you're seeking. Sometimes you can grow within the environment that you're in. Let's say you are in New York and you are living in your place, you've got your stuff and friends and all. What you're seeking is more change in, within the company, right? You want to have growth opportunities there, promotions and stuff. But even there, you need to change certain things. And the things usually involve your actions at work, your time management, even sometimes your social interactions, because you might need to be more social with co-workers in order to advance, because nobody wants to advance an outsider. Right? Someone who doesn't want to interact with people. But you might also need to take more of your free time to dedicate it to other forms of growth, as far as, like, let's say learning is involved, right? If you need to get a new certificate for something, or, develop another interest, you need to take time. Time is always limited, so you have to allocate time. I'm not gonna get good at a task if I don't put enough time into it. And the time I need to put into it is usually concentrated, right? I can't learn something if I do it 5 minutes today and I do another 5 minutes in a year. I mean, sure enough, in 200 years, I might have mastered that. But in order to have an actual new skill and actual new knowledge, you need to concentrate your time in a more, focused way. So you need to use a lot of time in a short time period. And that means other things need to, be cut off. That's usually your social time. That's time with friends and family. Right? You have to limit those things in order to dedicate that time to something else. You always have a trade-off. There's always something you need to give up. You cannot have it all. It does not work. Anyone who we imagine who has it all, you just don't know that person. You definitely don't. No one has it all. You always have to give something up. And success, many times, is a lonely road. There's no question about it. There's, if you live in an environment and you want to do something that other people in that environment don't do, then they just can't help you. They don't understand you. And you sharing your experiences with them very quickly becomes into an exercise of wasting your time, because you will notice that the people don't have real interest. They sit there or stand there and listen, maybe because they respect you, but you're not getting good feedback from them, from the stories that you're telling, because they don't have an interest in what you're actually saying. Right? They may have an interest in the results of where you're getting, but they don't have an interest in your journey. I on that one in particular, I give you a good example, right? So I say, okay, I'm single, right? I go on a dating website and I say, I want to live out in the country, have a nice, large property, 10 acres or something, and I want to build myself a cute little cabin, and I plant a cute little flower and vegetable garden, and just enjoy the beauty of nature. But it's going to be a long road, right? Developing the property, building, clearing ground, mowing the grass, and all the other things. Who wants to join you for the journey? Who says, I want to be part of you building that? I want to get my hands dirty. The majority of people don't, right? People would rather say, well, can't we just rent a cabin? I mean, you don't have to do all that work. There's cabins out there already. Or maybe just buy one, right? If you have the money, you can buy one. People don't want to be there for the journey. People want to be there for the result. Okay? No one wants to know about your plans for the future. Everybody wants to join you when you've reached the future. Okay? And this is a constant. This happens all the time. And this is because these very same people are not interested in what you're interested in. And that's the same thing as with success, right? You might, as you progress, as you do that thing, you might meet other people who also bought a property, who are also building a cabin, right? You meet them at a local material Home Depot or whatever, right? You meet them when you talk to contractors and stuff. Maybe you're involved in the local community a little bit and you meet them that way. Yeah, I just moved to the area. It's like, I'm building myself a cabin too. It's like, what do you build, right? Those are people who are on the same path as you. And those are not the people who come from your own background. Those are not your friends, family, and community. Those are strangers. They fall outside of your environment. But because you're on that journey, they become your new environment. And those are people you can learn from. Those are people who are interested in listening to what you have to say. And when they have something to say, you're interested in listening to them because it's valuable to you, right? You can support each other. You can even help each other do bigger projects together, right? It's like, hey, we're doing this one at my house today and we're doing that one on your house next week, right? But it's different. The road to success is a road that needs to be traveled alone, and you will only your only, what you call them, your only true connections along the way is with people who are on that road. Right? I can go to the local bar or sit on Skype at home and talk about going on a hiking trail all day long. Right? Everybody talking big game. But you know what? When you get out on that hiking trail, you know who you'll find? The people who do. Not the people who talk. Out of 1,000 people who talk, one does. Right? And where do you find that person? On that trail. You're not gonna find that person in the chat room. So if you're that person who's in the chat room, you're the one who's talking the big game, but not doing any of the action. Because if you're doing the action, you don't have to you won't have the time to be in the chat room. And chances are, after a short period of time, you wouldn't want to be in the chat room. You wouldn't want to talk to people who don't care about what you have to say. You know, because you just experienced a new aspect of success. Doers surround themselves with doers, and talkers surround themselves with talkers. So, you know, you got to do your thing. And if you truly want it, just do it. Right? It's gonna be a slow, hard process, perhaps so. Depends on your goal. But if you don't do it, guess what? Nothing is gonna happen. You know, we wait. So many times we wait for something on the outside to happen to change our lives. Right? Oh, society needs to change. Oh, the corporations need to change. Oh, the economy needs to change. Oh, the weather needs to change. Yeah, everything needs to change. And the biggest thing that needs to change, that is you. You need to change. Because if you want something to change, you are the change, nothing else. If society changes in my favor, it changes also in the disfavor of someone else. Try to stop trying to change a system. Use the system the way it is. Every country, every continent, every nation, there's systems everywhere. Right? Instead of rebelling against the system, use it. You'd be surprised how easy it is. Just use it. But you are the one who needs to change and adapt so that you can take advantage of that system. And I don't mean take advantage as in being a leech to the system. I mean using the system to your advantage, to leverage, to get to the places where you want to go. It is there. And it's there for everyone. It's the same for everyone. Sure, someone wears a pink dress and the other one wears a yellow dress. But beside that is just decoration. Don't worry about the decoration. What matters is what people do. And what matters is what you do. And if you're not doing it, you don't deserve it. So you need to be the change that you want to see. Stop trying to change the system. The goal is too big, it's too slow. Systems change too. They always have. They evolve. But they evolve slowly. They can't change fast. You wouldn't want them to change fast. Because if they change fast, they can also change very fast in a direction that you don't like at all. So stop imagining the system changing. Use the system the way it is. It offers you tons of opportunities if you're willing to do the work for them. And if that means being successful, that often means changing location. That often means changing the people you surround yourself with. You need to make changes to deserve the goal that you claim you desire. Right? A proclamation of interest is meaningless. Your actions are the only thing that matter. It's a constant. Your actions speak louder than words. What's that? Talk is silver, silence is gold. What is it? What is it that you want? Right? Have a dream. Have a dream, make it a goal. Divide it into segments. And then ask yourself, can I reach that? You know, some goals are unrealistic, right? But if you have a bigger goal, usually when you try to break it into segments for accomplishment along the way, you'll find that everything that is close to the finish line, you can't reasonably break down because you don't actually have any kind of knowledge or experience in what is necessary to do those final steps. But what you do have more experience in is the beginning steps, right? You can fairly easily define the beginning. Usually everything is a question of time and resources. Time, effort, and resources. Sorry, all three. Time, effort, and resources. You need to allocate a reasonable amount of time. You need to put in a reasonable amount of effort, and you need to allocate a reasonable amount of resources towards that. And because of that, you have to cut the equivalent out from the rest of your life. And there's just no way around it. Doesn't work. So sometimes when you have a big goal, you might realize along the way that that is not even the goal that you want. Because again, things take time. You know, if your goal is something that you think is reasonably away, let's say 5 years, well, you're also going through the process of growth for 5 years. And chances are along the way, you might change your mind. You might refine your goal. Maybe you want to go in a somewhat different direction. Or maybe you are more happy or content to stop a few steps earlier. So, you know, time is it's a huge factor. That's why this instant gratification is so big these days, because people don't want to invest the time. People are afraid that what that bigger goal is, that they actually don't like it when they get there, right? They have this imaginary vision of what it would be like, but they're also afraid of it, because if it's not like that, then I would have just wasted my time, right? And effort. You know, so people go for things that are quickly accessible, instant gratification, usually things that you can achieve with 1, 2, 3, 4 paychecks, or you know, a little bit of a credit card help. You know, the things you can get from today to tomorrow, right? Anything that's further away than a month is already tricky for people. It's more than 6 months, oh my God. A year, oh wow, that is so far away. 5 years, it's just impossible, right? But part of that is because people don't break it down, and people are fearful. You know, people are not consistent. They want to do something today, and they want, you know, like, I get the ball rolling, and I expect that ball to roll in the direction I desire at all times from here on. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You've got to keep pushing that ball, and you got to keep changing or adjusting direction. It's like playing golf, right? The straight path is rarely the one that you need to take. That means you need to make detours. And if you have to take detours, then clearly you can't automate this. It's not going to happen without you actively participating in it. Success is not a passive endeavor. Success is a series of failures. But each failure you're willing to learn from, and after each failure you're willing to get back up on your feet and keep on going, because you want that thing at the end of the tunnel. The majority of people, they get pushed down once, maybe they'll get up. The time they get pushed down for the second or third time, they're just gonna give up. Say, this is too hard. Why am I gonna fight this? It's never gonna change. And they're right, it is never gonna change. Because if you want it, chances are someone else wants it too. There's competition. The things that push you down is not always, a system or society that hates you personally. It's simply a system where everyone is trying to compete. Well, not everyone, but more people are competing for the same thing. And sometimes it means you fall more often and you compete with other people about the next step. And whatever you thought was the right thing to do a year ago might no longer apply. That's life. It's things change. So, yeah. Sun is out. It's hot now. And now I want to go into my back of my van to do my video editing. Shit. Well, I gotta do it. Got to do it. At a minimum, I gotta edit one video. I really want to edit two. Maybe if I get one done, but I don't get to upload one. Maybe I'll upload this video today instead. It's mostly a talk, right? This should be easy editing. It's very little to cut out. Just a big fat rant. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this. I still want to show you my setup. How I set things up to edit a video. All right. So just to give you an idea of what things look like, right? I am sitting on my bed, wedged in between stuff I have on my left and stuff I have on my right. And I'm looking at, you probably can't see this, right? Okay, this is what I'm looking at. A mess. I've got a box down here, I've got a box here, I've got some stuff put on top. I got my Home Depot bucket with roof work supplies. I got a water thingy. I've got some bags over there. I have a dresser here. Actually, I do have the first 3 drawers that put stuff in there. Obviously, I can't even get to that, right? And I even started putting stuff on top already. This is what my mess looks like, right? Totally unorganized. There is no real storage yet. And that is why I don't like to do any work in here yet, because everything is an effort just to get started. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be doing in order to get myself set up to do a video. Video edit. All right, so let's see, where can we put the camera? Alrighty, so here we got a camera. I put it on the right side of me so you can see, I hope you can see some of this mess, right? So first things I'm gonna be doing is I need this Home Depot bucket to be flush. Right, so everything that's on top, which is always something somehow, I take it off. In this case, just a bottle of soda. I'll put that to the side. Then next thing, I need the top area from the dresser. So what we're doing here, I've got my fat ass right in the way. All right, here, how about this? How about this? Can you see better? Alright, so I'm gonna take this bag off. Luckily it's empty. Now I've got a little space over here. I'm gonna take my little EcoFlow Delta, lift it from the floor, and then, you know, I'm hunched over, so it's not that easy to move things or lift things up. Take 2 hands, get it on here, but not all the way. And an extension cord. Oopsie. Oops. Plug that into the back. Find the power button for the AC outlets. Where is it? Murphy's Law, can't find anything. There it is. And now AC is turned on. Okay, now I push the EcoFlow back a little bit. And now we are going to change positions. Whew. So by this time, I'm already dizzy from being bent over like that. Next, we are, you want to take a quick look over here at the display. It's fully charged, which means of course there's no solar coming in because it doesn't need any solar. Where I'm gonna put the camera? Where I'm gonna put the camera so it's not in the way. I think now maybe I'll put it over here. All right, put it on my flexible solar panel that I have sitting here. I guess that's not the one. What does that look like? Okay, somewhat, somehow. All right, not really. The main thing you can't see because it's in the way of solar panels in the way. Hi. So what are we gonna do here? Maybe. You can see the struggle already, right? I don't even know where to put the camera because I've got no place to put the camera. Maybe if I move this one here, put it over there. This might create a space here for the camera. Right, move the camera back a little further. All right. So I hope you can see something over here. Can you see the bucket, or is it too far back now? It's probably whatever. Anyway, I've got this thing over here, and I'll lay that on top of my Home Depot bucket. Okay, that's kind of a flush surface now. Kind of what we need, right? And then I'm taking, I bought the biggest one that I could find. My computer case. This is like a Pelican case. I guess they're awesome, like indestructible awesome. But it's also massive in size. And okay, now moving the Home Depot bucket forward a little bit, so I have a good what you call it, so it's on there solidly, right? So nothing moves really. And then there's 4 of these, and there's a number lock over here, and then we're gonna open this up. And today we do need the power, so I'm gonna take my charger out, and I'm gonna take my charging cable out, and then I'm gonna take my computer out. Oops, it's all falling apart already. And we close this up. Oopsie. Close these. Close the ones up front. Put the handle down. Okay, nice surface. That's where we put the computer on. There we go. Right? Isn't that a beauty? It is actually fairly stable on here. With the feet that it has on the bottom, they somehow fit right between these grooves over here. So it is somehow fairly stable. All right, then we take our charging cable, take the USB part right in here, flip this one out, grab our extension cord and plug it in. Now I know my computer's only at 73%, so when I actually plug it into the EcoFlow, when I plug this cable actually into the computer, because the power brick is plugged into the EcoFlow already. And when I plug it into the computer, it should immediately start charging and taking power out of the EcoFlow. Okay, there we go. That's it. All right. Now at this point, I have got a couple options. All right, now I've got a few options of what I can do, possibly. One thing, of course, that I need out of my little piggy bag over here, I gotta take my glasses out, otherwise I won't see anything at all. All right, put this back here, take them out, have the glasses ready. The other thing I need is, what do I need? Where's my phone? Oh, geez, where's my phone? I'm using it to record here. I've got my charging wire here. Now, my phone's getting low, it's like 40% or so. Do I want to... Is the camera falling slowly? Maybe. Do I want to plug this into the computer for charging and copying? Or do I want to plug this into the EcoFlow for charging? I think I'm just gonna go with the EcoFlow for charging. Plug this in. Turn the DC charger on. And then plug the other side into, where's the outlet? Into my phone. Okay, and then, as you can see already, this is mostly the computer charging at a 90 watts, because the battery is only at 70 on the computer. All right, so this is my setup. This is what I have to do. Now, if I need to get out for any reason, oops, I just unplugged the computer. If I need to get out for any reason, the computer here is too close, and I've got the bottle over there. My feet down here are wedged in this tiny little space. I can't move them around. I mean, I can move them, but I can't turn, right? So if I need to get out, I actually need to close the computer and put it to the side, move the Home Depot bucket, then move the water container, and then open the door. It's a process, and I'm getting warm already, so I'm taking my trusty little fan over here. Even though there's a little breeze coming from the windows, it is warm in here. I need to have continuous flow of air. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, much better. I'm also gonna take my shirt off because it makes it so much more comfortable. Yeah, this is my setup for editing, and it might not take very long, but it's a very somewhat inconvenient setup, right? The power needs to be in a permanent place. I don't want to be setting up a table like this all the time. The mess, oh my God, this mess is driving me crazy. You know, oh, you have a dress already, just finished, organizing, whatever, right? And I was like, yeah, actually I have ordered something. It arrived even. I have to pick it up from the post office. Organizing right is actually one of my next few steps, and it definitely needs to happen. All this junk here to my right next to me on the bed, this is my bed. Half my bed is taken by a box, a plywood sheet, a flexible solar panel, a insulation board, an electric insulated water kettle. A what? Yeah. There's another thing over here, and then there's a thing over here, and there's, yeah, this list is endless. Yeah, anyway, so this is the mess I'm operating in. They always say as above, so below, or the more appropriate reference is your surroundings look the same as your inside, right? Your brain. If your surroundings are a mess, your brain is probably a mess. And yeah, that is not that far-fetched. I'm a mess. Anyway, do you have anything to add to this? No, I don't think so. You guys have a good day, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Did I even film this?